Okay guys, gonna give this a minute. If anybody is coming on, you can ask questions. I'm gonna go over fear and the way the brain works, because I think if you understand that, then you'll just feel more peace. Okay, you'll feel more peace. So let's see. So if you have questions, please post them. I'm gonna go over the way the brain works and the way fear works within the brain. And you're welcome, very welcome, Stephanie. Again, if you have questions, post them as we get rolling, and I will answer them. And that sounds great, Stephanie. Sounds like a good plan. I'm planning on doing a mind map session the rest of the week, every day. I'll post what time I'm doing it. I'll probably do it around this time, and that way I can address different issues for you, teach you about how the brain works, and kind of explain from my knowledge base and my expertise how to best help you navigate this time. So a lot of you have heard me, or maybe not, have heard me speak though about the brain. You got the triune brain. So you got three layers of the brain. You got the reptile brain, which is your brain stem. You got the mammal brain, which sits on top of that, evolved on top of that, and then the human brain. So what's going on right now with the hysteria that we're seeing is everybody is acting in their animal brain. The brain is hardwired for survival. Everything your brain interprets is about survival first. Okay, especially that, Martina, settle down. Especially that reptile brain. So the reptile brain, think of like road rage. There's no thought that goes into that part of your brain. You have something called the amygdala. It's always scanning the environment for threats. It's always scanning the environment for threats. And that's the reptile. Now the mammal is more about connection, which we need more than ever right now. It's about emotion. It's about bonding. It's about judgment. Okay, it's very sensitive to judgment. And then you have the human brain, which is logical. It's rational thinking. It's forward thinking. Now you have to understand that the emotional part of our brain, right, where the reptile and the mammal meet, and the human part of our brain, the logical part. Logic and emotion don't mix when it comes to your brain. They're reciprocal opposites. So if emotion is high, logic is low, and that's what you're seeing right now. What you're seeing is very, very high emotion. People are very fearful, and I understand fear, it's a real thing, but we have to get to the root of what is the fear. So emotions are very high, which means logic goes out the window. That's why people are at the grocery stores acting like they're never going to be able to get food again. This is not a natural disaster, meaning there's nothing physically impeding you from getting to the store. But people are reacting. So you got to realize the animal brain reacts. The animal brain reacts. It does not respond. The human brain responses. The brain is a pattern recognition machine. It likes prediction and response. Prediction and response. So right now, we don't have that. We can't predict what's going to happen, right, with everything that's going on. We're being told all different things. So prediction is kind of going out the window. Therefore, response goes out the window. You enter your animal brain, you react. You react. A couple of key things before we address your fears is when you feel overly emotional. I was talking about this yesterday morning. You have to go for a walk. You've got to move. Movement uses something in your brain called the parietal lobe. That's the motor center, really, of the brain. That's also where these emotions come from. So you can rob the energy from that part of your brain of when you start getting emotional and worrisome and fearful and anxious. So that is something you can do right away. Get up and go for a 10-minute walk. Exercise if you can. But realize that if your emotions are high, logic has gone out the window. Just be aware of that you're going to have thoughts that are not logical. Let them come and let them go. Go for a walk. Bring some clarity and linear thinking to the situation. Another way you can do that after you go for your walk is write. Not on a computer. Actually take a pen with a piece of paper and write. That brings the human brain back online. It makes you slow down. When we're too fast in our thinking, we're going to be emotional. Again, logic's going to go out the window. So those are some key points about the brain. The brain is hardwired for survival. And what you've been told right now is that you are not going to survive, which is not true at all. It's not true at all, people. So we need to address what is the fear that everybody's experiencing. So if you have fear, if you're fearful of the situation, you could definitely post it. I'm reading who's on here right now, and I'll be glad to address it, but you have to understand what the fear is. And once you address that, right, so fear, when you think about this, the timeline of life, we have the past, the present, and the future. Fear exists in the future. It's future-based thought, okay? Fear and anxiety are future-based thought. That's where they exist. Now, when you actually think about the future, and when I teach this, it usually is kind of mind-altering for people. The future does not exist. The future does not exist. And when you stop to think about it, you'll realize that's true. It's always the present moment. The future is a figment of the imagination. Now, the further out we think, the further out we project, the more anxious we get. It's called the anxiety gap, because you have less prediction and response the further out you think. What you have to do right now is focus on you and your family and those that are closest to you. Comfort each other. Hit that mammal part of your brain as far as bonding and connection and safety, right? If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it overlays this exactly where we have the pure survival things, or the bottom two levels. The middle two are emotional safety and bonding. The top one, okay, so the bottom is the reptile brain. The middle two on Maslow's hierarchy of needs are the mammal brain. The top one is forward thinking. It's self-actualization. It's the human brain. And right now, that's been cut off for most people. They're in survival mode. What can you do? Stay educated. Stay educated. Stop reading everything on social media. Stop watching every damn minute of the news. You guys have to realize that fear itself is a real virus, meaning it will leap from one person to the next. We put off vibrational energy. Fast from your phone as far as social media goes for a little while if you're having an issue with this. Fast from the news. You'll find out what you need to find out. But if you keep immersing yourself in it, what your attention goes on grows. What your attention goes on grows. Realize we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. The country has faced far, far worse than this before, if you just look at actual data. And go down to what is it that, if you're struggling with this, what is it that you're actually scared of? And write it down. Write it down. Reframe it. And put actual linear, logical thought into the situation. Because that's how you're going to have peace of mind. The real key to meditation, guys, it's not that when you do it that everything just goes away. That's not what it is. It's that when you are forward thinking and you're getting anxious and projecting into the future, you could catch yourself. And that's been the biggest benefit of breathing to me, is I catch myself when I'm thinking too far out into the future. I say, wait a minute, you're thinking about next week. You're thinking about tomorrow. I have no real control over that. I can control right now. Bring yourself back to the moment. Take a breath. That's another great way to lower your level of anxiety and fear. When you do your belly breathing that we've taught you at the gym, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and the belly rises, breathing from the diaphragm, you get into your parasympathetic state, which is relax, rest, digest, recover. When you're in fight, flight, or freeze, that's the sympathetic part of your nervous system. That's survival. That's stress hormones are jacked up. You're going to be wired. You cannot be in that state all the time. Take your foot off the pedal. Breathe, walk, journal. Talk to somebody. Bond with people. I just put up something before. 2 of the greatest ways we could combat stress and anxiety is laughing and walking. Make sure you laugh tonight. Make sure you laugh tomorrow. Put on something funny. Again, stop watching all this end of the world type stuff. Guys, it's not the end of the world. We're going to handle this. We always have. This is not the end of the world. Laugh, bond, get clarity, realize that all is going to be okay. It will all be okay. I'm going to keep doing these mind map sessions nightly for the rest of this week. And whatever questions you guys have, that's one of my areas of expertise, and one of the things I love talking about is mind mapping and the triune brain and how the brain actually functions. Because once people understand that, they can be more self-aware, and it's all about self-awareness. Environment number 1 with the brain is the inner dialogue, the thoughts up here. That's going to drive everything else, your actions and whatnot. And realize, last thing I'll cover with this, if there's no questions tonight, and if you have questions, please post them. I'm going to answer them. But you have the belief cycle. Your beliefs lead to your actions. So think about this with those closest to you. Your beliefs lead to your actions. Your actions lead to others' beliefs. Others' beliefs lead to their actions. Their actions reinforce your beliefs. But it all starts with your beliefs. So what is your inner dialogue? What do you currently believe about yourself in the state of everything that's going on? It's hectic right now. It's chaotic for everybody. Take a step back. Bond with somebody that's very close to you. Share a moment with them. Comfort each other. There's a lot of positive, I promise you, and tomorrow I'm going to go over reframing. There's a lot of positive that is going to come out of this situation, believe me, for individuals and for the country and the world at large. I promise you that there will be a silver lining to this. There will be, I promise you. But realize tomorrow's going to come. The sun's still going to rise tomorrow. We're going to be okay. We got each other's backs. You got a whole tribe. We got this. I promise you we got this. It's up here, guys. It's up here. And by the way, your mind is how you access the spirit as well. Your mind is how you access the spirit. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this helps. If you have anything you want me to cover with mind mapping, please let me know. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this all week for you guys. We're trying to give you everything we got. We're digging deep, and we're trying to really be a support system for you. So know that any of the coaches will hop on a call with you at any moment, or Skype call if you need to do face-to-face or Zoom. We're doing that. We're going to do as much live stuff as we can. I appreciate it, Jeremy. Thanks for always giving me the support, buddy. And yeah, we got this. The tribe will be stronger than ever. You as a person will be stronger than ever. You're living through this. We will rise again. We will rise again. Oh, okay, so let's see, before I sign off, how do we help influence others in our family who are panicked? It's having clarity conversations, right? So just what I was just saying, Tammy, is whoever's panicked, guys, we're going to sit down. We're actually going to write out what it is we're scared about. What is it that we're actually scared about? Because as soon as you write, and that's the power of journaling, as soon as you put pen to paper, you bring the prefrontal cortex, the human part of your brain, back online. And the very act of writing makes us slow down. So we got to slow down the brain. You do that by writing, putting on what they're actually scared of, have them write it out. And then you could talk about, you have a clarity conversation of, okay, what is the fear? What is the actual fear? And then you bring logic to the situation. But people are gonna, if you look at Hawkins, David Hawkins, his levels of consciousness, the higher levels of vibrational energy will always win out over the lower levels. Right now, the country, basically, from what I've seen, if you look at his scale, is at level 50, which is far below where it should be. That's apathy. That's helplessness, right? And you can feel that everywhere you are. So we have to bring the torch to those that are panicked. We have to let them know everything's going to be okay. So I would say you have a clarity conversation, you have them write it down, you all journal together for 5 minutes, write down what you're scared of, and let's talk about it as a family or as a friend or as a spouse, and let's figure out, is there truth in this? What if it were true? You know, I always do it in different ways we can look at. Martina, settle down. We can always look at the different avenues of it. Look at the opposite side of it. But you got to bring the human back online. Know this with mind mapping, guys. When emotions are high, when panic is there, when anxiety is there, and fear is there, realize that the human has left the room. The human is not present. So anything you tell them in that moment will not make sense to them. It will not register with whoever it is you're talking to. And I know that when I do mind map sessions and people get emotional, it's okay. But I know anything I say when they're emotional is not going to get through. Okay? The animal brain reacts. The animal brains react. Your mindset is the human part of your brain. That's logic. That's forward thinking. That's linear thought. Self-actualization. Realize that to calm people down, everything I told you guys, you got to do with them. Take them for a walk. Talk and walk. Put a name on the fear. Give it a name. Like, what is it you're actually scared of? Because most people are scared of the unknown. And the unknown is the one constant in life, because that's change. But it's the only thing that is ever going to be constant in life, is be sure that things are going to change. Things are a lot different right now than they were a week ago. They're going to be a lot different next week than they are right now. but it's the unknown. So walk and talk, write it down, look them in the eyes with confidence that everything is going to be okay and that you believe that, because they will pick up on that energy. That's a quiet energy and a quiet confidence. Look those that you love in the eye and tell them this is going to be okay. I promise you. And make it a routine until the panic calms down. Walk and talk multiple times a day. Write it down. You're welcome, Tammy. I hope that helped. Anybody else have questions before I sign off? And if not, I appreciate, we had a good amount of people watching. I appreciate you, tribe. I love all you guys. We all love all you guys. And everybody, I promise you, is going to come out of this much stronger on mind, body, and spirit. All right, guys. Hit the like button if you liked it. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll post what time. And it's going to be about reframing. Reframing, because that's a tool we can really use now in real life. And we're going to use that, and you're going to have it forever. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Appreciate you. Later.